Mute, council.
A lot of static. Good evening. We welcome you to the regular meeting. Good evening. We welcome you to the regular meeting, West Valley City Council. We will begin our meeting, our electronic meeting, with the official statement of our electronic meeting. Pursuant to Utah Code, West Valley City has determined that this meeting will be held electronically without an anchor location given the ongoing novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. West Valley City has determined the pandemic presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who may be present at an anchor location. This meeting will be held electronically. Members of the press and public are invited to view this meeting live on YouTube at www.youtube.com/user/WVCTV. To participate in the public comment period or scheduled public hearings, please visit www.wvc-ut.gov/public comment or contact the city recorder. Thank you. We note that we have a quorum present, and we excuse Councilman Hyun, who will not be joining us tonight. And we think that there will be a couple more join, but at this point, Councilman Fitissimano is not here, and Councilwoman Lang is not. And so, but we do have a quorum. With that then, let's go to our Inside the Video series for some interesting information about our city.
It's so nice to be the neighborhood to be united like this, because what we were trying to do is to bring other people in the neighborhood to help so they can see, and we can go to everybody.
West Valley City is the second largest city in this state, and as such, one might not believe that we're a bedroom community, but in truth, we have 40,000 housing units, and those housing units are imperative to a wonderful place to live.
What we're really trying to do here is coordinate and encourage the residents in the neighborhoods to have more buy-in and more expertise, more resource to take care of their neighborhoods, take care of each other. And that means everything from fixing up their own houses to helping each other with whatever, reading lessons, tutoring, mortgage applications, taxes, anything you can think of that folks that are very busy on a daily basis may not have the time or expertise to do while they're going about their daily lives of trying to live earn a living and raise their families.
Many of the residents that we interact with recognize that this is truly a wonderful place to live, and they want to make it more livable, more sustainable, and more beautiful. And so part of these projects include some things that are aesthetic, but also you'll see today that we're working on things like playground improvement and cleanup so that the playgrounds are safe and usable for our families. We do have some residents that just are not capable of doing that by themselves, whether that's because the jobs are significant or because they might have some challenges physically or otherwise. And so in those cases, we're providing some volunteer help that ranges from painting of soffit and fascia all the way to replacement of driveways and everything in between.
This is not just one family. It's a thing for everybody to make our city lovely and make me so grateful. This is, to me, is a blessing to have. These people, I didn't even know them, and they come so quite far away from here. I love them. They've been doing so well. This is why I'm so grateful for this program. This many hands can make the work very easy and quick.
Really allows for a great environment for our residents, and they desire that, and we desire that.
I was looking forward to this. When I heard about the program, I was so excited. But I was asking how it works. How can we share it to other people? So now I understand, and I can go and help too the next one.
Thank you. Next, we have our minutes of April 13th.
Move to approve the minutes of April 13th.
Second.
Properly before us, without objection, the minutes will be approved. Hearing no objections, the minutes are approved unanimously by those who are in attendance, including Councilwoman Lang, who has joined us. Next, we have our public comment period, and I believe we have one person who is scheduled for our public comment.
Yes, sir. We have Jim Visock.
Good evening, Mayor. I almost said good morning, but first I want to talk about the streetlight ordinance you guys are bringing up and voting on tonight. I noticed in the supporting documents from last week in the study meeting, it specifically says $3 per month per streetlight. In the two that are before you, that per month is taken out. I don't know if it's error or if it's only going to be $3, but I did notice it reading the ordinance, and I did pass it on to one of the council members, so hopefully it will be brought up. The next item, and on the streetlight things, I actually like the $3 one, even though you guys already give them a budget of $491,000. I think we should leave that in. As I said a couple weeks ago, I drove the city counting streetlights for the Clean and Beautiful Committee and noticed how many of them are out. And that's all I was looking for. But this fund also includes the maintenance, replacement, and putting in new ones. We desperately need it. And so that might be the consideration for the higher one. Second thing, you guys are voting on the 2 new ambulances for West Valley City. I'm all for our fire department having the best equipment as needed. But once again, I believe this could have and should have been in the initial budget. It's not a surprise that we need more ambulances. It didn't just come up a couple months ago that all of a sudden we need to buy 2 more ambulances, and the cost is just under $630,000. It's a lot of money. I believe that these should be in our initial budget as all vehicles instead of this opening up as needed, adding more money, taking it out. It isn't like we're getting grants or anything for it, or at least I didn't hear anything discussed when the chief talked about it. So that's all I have today. The 2 public hearings, they're simple road fix, so I will not be speaking on those, so I'll just make my point there. Stay safe, stay strong. Good seeing y'all.
Thank you. With that then, we'll bring it back to our assistant city manager who's sitting in for our city manager, Nicole Cottle. Any comments tonight?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Council members, any comments? Okay. I just noticed on the screen here that Nicole Kamek has her hand up. I think that's just an inadvertent thing, though. So anyway, there it went. And I don't see any hands up for council members not here or electronically. Okay. Then that brings us to our first public hearing. This is application SA2-2021. Final plat approval for the Cabco 5600 West subdivision at 2330 South Anna Caroline Drive. And excuse me, this is where that particular drive where we're building the bridge over the canal to extend that road further north. And this will amend the lots there because the road needs to be extended to connect up with another piece further up. However, once it goes over the Ritter Canal and where the road was put in by Rocky Mountain Power, some improvements, there was a slight difference in the direction of the street, so the street will be angled to connect that, and this will require some changes there, amending the lots, which will be ordinance 2116, and getting that squared away. With that, I think that's all there is to it. But I'll ask the council if they have any comments they want to add before we open it up for public comment. I don't think there's anyone for public comment, and I don't see any hands or anything or hear any comments. So with that, I'll officially open up for public comment, but I believe there's no one.
No, sir.
Okay. No public comments, so we will close the public comment and bring it back to the council for consideration of ordinance 21-16.
Mayor, I move for approval of ordinance 21-16.
Second.
There we go. Okay. Takes a little bit to get it off of mute. With that then, it's properly before us. Hearing no further comments, then we go to our city recorder for the roll call vote.
Councilwoman Lang?
Yes.
Councilman Bueller?
Aye.
Councilman Christensen?
Yes.
Councilman Nordfeld?
Yes.
And Mayor Bigelow?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have a second public hearing, SA3 of 2021. This is final plat approval for Anna Caroline Drive at 2450 South Anna Caroline Drive. And yes, it's just barely north of the one we just did. And the same type of thing to get things lined up there to finish off that road and connect everything up, and also work on the parcels, getting them the way they should be. With that introduction then, anything else from the council? Not hearing anything, I'll open the public comment period for that, even though I believe there's not anyone.
There is not, sir.
No electronic participation on that. All right, then I will close the public comment period. We'll bring it back to the council for consideration of ordinance 21-17.
Move for approval of ordinance 21-17.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further comments, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we go to ordinance 21-18. This is to amend our city code to establish a street lighting fee. And we have had discussion on two possible amounts, a $2 fee per residence, and for businesses, an equivalent fee of either $3 or $2 for 80 linear feet of frontage. So if it's a large business, there would be correspondingly increases to that. And the purpose of this is that we currently have 97 lights that are inoperable, waiting repair due to either accidents or underground wiring problems. This fee would generate if it's $3, 1.27 million. 70% of that would come from residential, the rest business. And being that this is a particular fee, this will be a restricted fund that will be reserved solely for the purpose of taking care of our streetlights. Apart from that, this will also include funds from this will go towards the purchase of a bucket truck, hiring one more streetlight technician because we're gradually getting behind, and because many of our streetlights are now approaching the end of their useful life. And so the proposed changes will automatically replace 70 or 80 lights a year. And then we will add street lights where we have streets with no current street lighting, approximately 120, and then some painting for the fiberglass poles so that they don't continue to deteriorate. This will be effective of January 1st of 2022. And with that introduction then to the council for any further comments or dealing with ordinance 21-18.
Mayor, I would move for approval of ordinance 21-18 with the addition, for the $2 increase, with the addition to the language that it is a monthly fee beginning January 1 of 22.
Okay. And is there a second to that? Hearing no second, the motion dies.
So then I have a comment. I think the $3 fee, our Public Works Director has told us that additional money, they do not have the personnel to be able to use it. And it would basically be a waste to impose that fee where we don't have the personnel right now to be able to do the maintenance that would require using that money each year.
Hearing no further comments or motions.
Mayor, lost my agenda here. I'm trying to get back.
Oh, okay.
I'd move for approval of ordinance 21-18 in the amount of $3 per month.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further discussion or comments? Hearing none, we will turn to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilwoman Lang,
No.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes by majority.
And it received the required 4 votes, so that is now done. Next, we have Resolution 21-53, authorizing the purchase of 2 ambulances. This is actually a replacement and is in the amount of $334,450 from our ambulance fund. We have 2 ambulances that are from 2015, and let's see, the purchase of 2 will replace a 2005 ambulance with over 110,000 miles. And then one of these will go in as a backup, keeping it running, but not being the frontline ambulance. So these will, 2 ambulances. Okay, I think that's everything, I believe. Oh, let's see. These come purchased, and then we also have to put the boxes on the back, and 2 of those that will occur. And the third one, those will be put out with the company to put those on, as I understand it. Is that right? Am I on the right one?
I think so. 21, 53, 54, and 55 all relate to replacement of ambulances, and we do it in more than one purchase. We don't buy an ambulance ready-made, ready to go, because we can do the work and we contract it out, and we can get more for a buck that way.
Yeah. So these are related, although the stretchers are equipment in the ambulance. Right. Of course, I guess the stuff they put in is equipment too. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll stop talking and we'll just turn it to the council and let you go from there.
Move for approval of Resolution 21-53.
Second.
Properly before us. Any further comments? Hearing none, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, we have Resolution 21-54. This is to approve the purchase of 3 stretchers and related accessories from Stryker. These are power stretchers that are used to assist in the loading of individuals into the ambulance so that they do not have to be physically lifted. And that is a safer system since they are powered by machinery. These are attached to the chassis or remounted into a current ambulance so that our EMTs are a little safer with their moving of individuals. With that introduction, oh, by the way, that is $114,213. With that introduction, then to the council.
I would move for approval of resolution 21-54.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further comments, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have the 3 Ford trucks. This is still related to the ambulances. This is resolution 21-15 from Ken Garff Ford. These are cab and chassis, not to exceed $151,000. 2 of the trucks will be shipped to the ambulance box manufacturer. That's the one I was mixing it up with. And where they will install the boxes. But on the 3rd one, it will go to the city shops, and we will mount one of those ourselves from one of the older ambulances. And that will save us some money. That's the introduction to the issue. And I did state 151,000. So that's it to the council.
I move for approval of resolution 21-55.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further comments or discussion, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Next, we have resolution 21-56. This is to authorize the city to execute an agreement with Rocky Mountain Power. It's a right-of-way easement at the Family Fitness Center. This will allow them to install a new transformer there at the west end of the Family Fitness Center. This is to power I guess they call them EV, electric vehicle charging station. And Rocky Mountain Power provides a grant, an allowance. The transformer will be paid out of that. And then these charging stations will be available. And we're going to pay for that through a grant from VW. So we add this in, moving towards supporting those vehicles. They only claim a small portion of total number of vehicles, but in order to encourage that, we are doing our part to provide some of those charging stations. With that introduction then, to the council.
Move for approval of resolution 21-56.
Second.
Properly before us, hearing no further discussion, to our city recorder for the vote.
Councilwoman Lang,
Yes.
Councilman Bueller,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Bigelow.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Great, that takes care of it. We do not have a need for a closed portion of our meeting. And so that will complete our work for the evening. We thank you all for participating and being here tonight. And those listening in, thank you. And with that, our last motion. If I could, as chair, I'd make the motion, but I can't. So
Move to adjourn.
then, without objection, we will stand adjourned. Hearing no objections, it's unanimous.